Enjoying a day at the theme park can be the highlight of a summer vacation or day trip. Screams of joy and laughter fill the air as riders enjoy roller coasters, log rides, spinning teacups, and other rides. While the majority of rides are perfectly safe, unfortunately, accidents can happen. Here are 10 amusement park rides people have lost their lives on. Thunder River Rapids Ride. In Queensland, Australia, a deadly malfunction at the country's largest amusement park, Dreamworld, left 4 people dead and 2 children lucky to be alive. In October 2016, the Flume ride was carrying 6 passengers through the Thunder River Rapids when their boat knocked into another at the end of the ride. The boat flipped over, tossing the 4 adult passengers into the conveyor belt used to move the boats forward. They were caught in the machinery and suffered fatal injuries. The 2 children riding with them were traumatized, but managed to escape the same fate. The park was closed following the accident to conduct an investigation. Drop Tower. In 1999, a family outing to California's Great America theme park took a dark turn when a 12-year-old boy fell from the Drop Tower ride. The boy suffered fatal injuries after falling over 200 feet, but the reason was unclear. Family members on the ride say the boy's harness failed, but it had been inspected prior to the ride's launch and was still locked when the ride ended. The boy suffered from mental and physical disabilities, but park officials say these would not have disqualified him as a rider. After an investigation was launched, no charges were filed against the park, and how the boy fell remains a mystery. Batman: The Ride. At the Six Flags amusement park in Atlanta, Georgia, there is a roller coaster that takes its riders through the streets of Gotham City and deep into the Batcave. Batman: The Ride was a popular ride, but in June 2008, 17-year-old Asia LaShawn Ferguson lost his hat while riding and was determined to get it back. Ignoring the danger signs, Ferguson climbed over 2 security fences and entered the restricted enclosure beneath the ride. While searching, he walked into the path of the oncoming ride, which hit him at 50 miles an hour. He was decapitated and died instantly. New Texas Giant. In Arlington, Texas, Six Flags has a ride called the New Texas Giant. After undergoing 18 months of refurbishment to change the wooden tracks into steel, this 153-foot-tall ride reopened in 2011. Featuring steep drops and sharp banks, the Texas Giant was better than ever. In July 2013, 52-year-old Rosa Ayala Goana fell 75 feet to her death after she was ejected from her seat. She struck a metal beam before her body dropped onto the metal roof of a tunnel on the side. Investigations showed that her size may have been a factor, and later redesigned the ride's safety bars and added seatbelts before reopening several months later. Fujin Raijin 2. Expoland in Suita, Osaka, Japan was in operation from the early 1970s to late 2007. It had 40 rides and attractions, including the Fujin Raijin 2, which became known for its part in Japan's worst amusement park disaster. In May 2007, the roller coaster's 6-car train derailed from the track and went flying, taking 20 passengers along. It struck a guardrail when it landed, killing a 19-year-old passenger when she struck her head. It was discovered that a broken axle caused the accident. The park had not replaced any of the ride's axles in 15 years. Similar rides were closed and inspected across Japan to avoid another incident. The park ultimately closed in December of that same year as people were afraid to return. Great Adventures Haunted Castle. At the Six Flags in Jackson Township, New Jersey, there once stood an attraction known as Great Adventures Haunted Castle. In May 1984, a fire broke out inside, and while many guests were able to escape the blaze, 8 teenagers became trapped inside. Their bodies were so badly burned that they needed to be identified using dental records. The castle was not equipped with sprinklers or smoke detectors, but since the attraction was considered a temporary structure and the fire was likely a case of arson, the park was able to escape responsibility for the incident. Verrückt. Standing at 168 feet, the Verrückt water slide at Schlitterbahn Water Park in Kansas City was taller than the Statue of Liberty. Riders had to climb 264 stairs before they would go down the slide in a multi-person raft fitted with safety harnesses. Riders also needed a combined weight of at least 400 pounds to be allowed to ride. In August 2016, the unthinkable happened. 10-year-old Caleb Thomas Schwab was decapitated when he was thrown from his raft and hit the protective netting placed over the side after his harness failed. The ride was shut down following the young boy's death and will not reopen. Superman Ride of Steel. At the Six Flags New England amusement park in Agawam, Massachusetts, there is a roller coaster called Superman Ride of Steel, which reaches heights of above 200 feet. 55-year-old Stanley Morbarski was thrown from the ride in May 2004 just as the ride was finishing and suffered multiple blunt force traumas. He later died at the hospital due to these injuries. Another death occurred in July 2011 on the New York version of the ride at Darien Lake, when 29-year-old U.S. Army veteran Sergeant James Hackemer was ejected from his seat. He had lost both legs in Iraq, but ride attendants attendants still allowed him to ride despite other coasters in the park forbidding it due to safety concerns. Perilous Plunge. At Knott's Berry Farm in California, there was once a water slide known as the Perilous Plunge. The ride opened in September 2000 and had the steepest and highest drop of any water ride in the world. A year into the ride's operation, however, there was a tragic accident. 40-year-old Lori Mason Lares was attending a private party at the park when she somehow fell from the boat during the steep plunge and fell 100 feet. She suffered multiple blunt force trauma injuries and later died in the hospital. When the boat returned to the docking station, her seatbelt and safety bar were closed and in a locked position, so investigators were unable to determine how she managed to slide out of her restraints. Action Park. Action Park was an amusement park in Vernon, New Jersey, but was closed down in 1998 after multiple instances of serious injury and death in their Waterworld section. It had one of the worst reputations, unsafe rides, neglectful employees, and even drunk patrons. At least 6 people were killed there, including a 19-year-old employee whose ride car jumped the track on the Alpine slide, causing him to strike his head on a rock. An additional 3 people drowned in the tidal wave, 1 man was electrocuted when his kayak tripped on the kayak experience, and another suffered a heart attack on the Tarzan swing due to the frigid temperature of the water. Oh, hey, look at that. You're still here. Then may we at The Richest suggest over to you guys our friends over at The Things. They are full of all kinds of crazy knowledge, and we think maybe that might satisfy your craving. Bye-bye for now.